What's up? What's up, everybody? We are down here, girl. So y'all, go ahead and like, subscribe, comment. Let me know you stopped by. It's me, Erica. In case you did not know, we are down here, honey, and I was just listening to. Shout out to D Ramsey Lotus Flower. She has video, and I was just listening to her video, and it was just like filling me up, filling me up. So shout out to D. Um, and then I was like, gonna tell y'all that I got the matcha from Everyday Dose. So I haven't tried it yet. I got the matcha and the collagen um creamer. So I've been already using the collagen creamer. But then also I'm gonna do a matcha today. I was gonna do it the night that I got it, and I was like, oh, it's too late to do matcha because matcha really be like giving you energy like on some real shit. I don't know if anybody else experiences green like matcha like that. I get like it's like really like it gives you a better than coffee to me. I've got maybe because I have such a high tolerance for caffeine and coffee. I don't know if there's a difference. I figure caffeine is just the same molecular structure. Just I don't know, but I feel like in matcha I can feel it like So I have the matcha, so I'm gonna try it later. Um, and then I have the collagen in this one too. And this says the collagen says it's sweet and creamy, but I just mixed it with my mushroom coffee and it didn't taste sweet at all to me. So I have a pumpkin spice creamer in there that I put in my coffee this morning. Yes. So what is going on? I don't have nothing to talk about. There was one thing that I did hear about last night. Shout out to Rodney the Voice. It was his birthday, and he had a birthday live last night, and it was a good time. So happy birthday to Rodney the Voice, Libra, gang gang, because I'm a Libra rising bitch. So gang gang. And he was talking about somebody mentioned that Keion, um, Shawnee O'Neal's new husband, that he was on his a stage, a grand stage in his congregation, and said that your tithes should not go to poor people because there will always be poor people. Thanks to you and your whole little system, your church system. Ah, and there will always be poor people, and so basically give your money to the church and not give it to poor people. We know that all the father god religions are always going to put a man in front of everybody to tell you, give you some advice that might not benefit you and that might be harmful to you and a community as a whole. But unfortunately there are people clapping and saying amen after saying not to give charity. And to me, I feel like a part of church and a part of your duty as a parishioner of whatever Father God religion that you are following. But I feel like in all religions, there is a concept of charity, right? We give to the less fortunate parishioners, the people who are in the church, and then the surrounding community outside of the church. That's what I've always aligned. A part of church is charity, right? And the fact that a man full of ego and arrogance, right, when he was standing on that stage, I wanted to vomit. I felt like I wanted to vomit, and it just reinforced and reaffirmed how I feel about Christianity and its gatekeepers and its culture and how harmful and greedy and ironically the embodiment of all the seven deadly sins. It's just right in the church, like the way that they operate. It's all there: the greed, the sloth, the lust, all of that stuff. And in real life, if you were to follow the doctrines of a man, a teachings of a man named Jesus, none of the shit they be talking in church, none of that shit. He would be against all of that shit. And that's real talk, right? So let's hear it. Let's hear let's hear Keion tell you all not to give to the church. And then there's another clip going around where he's talking about Haiti. And how Haiti kind of brought this on themselves. Hold on, let me go to the neighborhood talk and see if it's there. I don't remember where I saw it. Pastor Keion Henderson says there's no blessing connected to blessing the poor like blessings you receive when you tithe. You help them, but you don't help yourself. That's why I can't go, because like I think like I don't have the right responses for like, and it always goes back to my. I think I was in third grade at the time, and the teacher told my mother that I have really great leadership skills. Is I just need to lead the children in the right direction. I would burn his church down. I would give you a reason to have a building fund. I would give your black ass a reason to beg for some money in the middle of a fucking field with just a stage and everybody sitting on fucking crates because your goddamn church burned down. How did it burn down? I don't know. How did it flood? I don't know. You'd have a building fund, all right. Yeah, I couldn't because my go-to, that's why I'd be like, people are capable of doing things, because my go-to would be to burn his church down or flood it. I'd give you a reason to beg for money. Yeah, while you telling people that their tithes, this is what I think you should do with your tithes: put it in a savings account, and at the end of the year actually give it to an organization that you know is going to give it to someone in need, not pay for his motherfucking Versace belt. Pimps in the pulpit while women just sit in the front row, just mesmerized, right? Girl, I said devil worshiper. Male worshiper, same difference. Devil worship, death worship, father time worship, just looking up in a motherfucking man's face, telling you shit that is harmful. Let's listen to what he has to say.
Here's the other problem with the church is that anytime a person is in need, y'all go to running and dropping money. But let me tell you something, the poor will be with you always, and there is no blessing connected to blessing the poor other than getting back what you gave to them, but no multiplication. Multiplication is segregated for tithes and offering. When you give to the poor, the only thing you do is help them, but you don't help yourself. So when you give $1 to somebody on the street talking about I did my job, God like, thank you, but it ain't gonna help you. Bible. Charity does not bring wealth. What? Only the tithe does that. Matter of fact, you don't believe me? Guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna preach on it. Here's the other problem.
Listen to the comments. Did you hear what he said? Let's listen to him one more time. Let's listen to him one more time.
The problem with the church is that anytime.
This is the problem with the church. So the church is community, right? You understand that, right? Church is community, right? So this is the problem with the church, he says.
A person is in need, y'all go to running and dropping money. But let me tell you something, the poor will be with you always, and there is no blessing connected to blessing the poor other than getting back what you gave to them, but no multiplication. multiplication is segregated for tithes and offering. When you give to the poor, the only thing you do is help them, but you don't help yourself. So when you give $1 to somebody on the street talking about I did my job, God like, thank you, but it ain't gonna help you. Bible. Charity does not bring wealth. What? Only the tithe does that. Matter of fact, you don't believe me? Guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna preach on it.
Whoever is kind to the poor lends to the Lord, and he will reward them for they think for what they have done. Proverbs 19:17. Run, Shawnee, get out now. Y'all will literally let anyone preach to y'all. Nope, the way I tithe is through giving to the less fortunate. I also tithe through giving back to my followers. Y'all rich, you don't need it. Isn't this also teaching that you're only doing things to help people to gain something? Hello, what is he preaching? Shout out to Jamie, that's me. Charity does not bring wealth. As long as you guys are all tax exempt, it does bring a certain level of wealth. Maybe I need to go listen to the entire sermon. Beware of false prophets. This is why I read the Bible at home. He's basically telling them not to give away his money. Right, give it to me. That is exactly what he's saying. Do not give it to the poor person outside. Give it to me because it multiplies when you give it to me. But he said that's the problem with the church. That's the problem with the church. They're giving to poor people. The church is you, right? You the church, right? So the problem with you, sheep, is that you're giving money to people and it's not going to multiply. Give it to me because I'm going to multiply it for myself. You don't think that there's any correlation with Father God religions and men being the only ones being able to preach, being anointed to preach to a congregation full of mostly who? Women. Nobody sees the correlation. Nobody sees how that view of man as you prostrate and believe and accept and believe that a man is the key to your salvation. You don't see how that riddles over into the way that you see human men and the way that men act like they are the ones, that the only ones that they can give you this word, and the word is given to the majority of women. You don't see how that male worship can go over to just a regular old man. You don't see how that happens. I know a lot of you are saying no, but a lot of y'all are letting a man head your household and he shouldn't. A lot of y'all are looking for a man to protect and provide, and that's the only place that idea came from, is out of the Bible. You can't find anywhere else that says a man's role in society is to protect a woman. No, that's the only place that you're going to find that is in a Father God religion. You don't see the grift? I'm not telling you what to worship or whatever you do, whatever you want to do. I'm not a recruiter. Okay, I'm not knocking at your door, girl. I'm not trying to recruit you. No, you do what you want to do. But whatever's going on in the kitchen in the back, and whatever that motherfucker's coming out and feeding you, you better inspect it. You better inspect it. You better look at your food. You better smell it. You better put your hand, you better touch it with your hand. And you better ask to go see who's making the food. Because I need to see what y'all putting in this before I eat it. Because a lot of these motherfuckers is on stage feeding y'all poison. Poison. The fact that y'all use he and him pronouns to talk about God, that already tells you something ain't right. There's no mother nowhere, but all the mothers are in the church. No mother nowhere in your doctrine. Very few, very, very small in comparison to how the men show up in your doctrine. Where are the women? They don't even matter because their role is just to do what? Serve what? Birth, multiply. Is that what you're supposed to be doing? Serving the man? You go on Sunday to have some man preach to you about serving a man. You go to church to get counseling on how to get rid of this nigga, and they tell you to stay with him. Don't let anybody put the devil in your house, and he's right there with you every day. Give you harmful advice that never ever serves you. Give your money to me. Give your money to me. That's what's wrong with y'all now. You giving your money to poor people thinking it's going to multiply. Give it to me because I need to build a motherfucking kitchen in the middle of my backyard for no reason. And Shawnee, you went from a musty nigga carrying a basketball to a musty nigga carrying a Bible. You done bent yourself into a pretzel and got the same nigga. It's the same nigga. Ooh. Ooh. Are we going to tell her to choose better? Girl, now you a first lady and you got a man on stage telling people that's what's wrong with y'all now. Y'all not giving enough to me. Then he just said some shit about Haitians, I think in the same sermon. Pastor, if you don't want to use the church money to help poor, just say that. Because it insults the intelligence of the congregation and virtual listeners to think that we're not smart enough to read through this mess. Because they believe that's why they don't. There are very few pastors who will encourage you to educate yourself on the thing that you put your faith in. Very few of them. They want to teach you, and when you start asking questions, don't ask no questions. Just believe in the word that I'm going to deliver to you, that I'm going to interpret for you. Don't worry about it. I'll interpret it. I'm anointed. I remember when Bishop Eddie Long got caught with them kids. I'm going to just speak plainly. I remember I lived in Atlanta at the time. And I remember in the place that I worked, two women almost got into a physical altercation over one calling Eddie Long out of his name. And another, you can't talk about the man of God and something about a tongue or something. Don't put your tongue on my pastor. Like they got in each other's faces like that, fighting over a man, my nigga. Other people didn't want to hear nothing about their pastor. Fucking little boys. They didn't want to hear it. No, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to talk about Eddie Long. Why? Why? Because y'all be up there, eyes like this. And the very thing they admonish you about, they doing. Let me watch the whole sermon in not 12 seconds. Now he's just making shit up. You don't even need discernment to see this for what it is. All you need is common sense, right? And a lot of it, like a lot of it is just plain old, good old fashioned common sense. When y'all be running, you need discernment. You need discernment. Discernment, because a lot of y'all will sit there and look at a thing and talk about everything around it. So now you need to discern on what is real and what isn't, because there's a bunch of gaslighting going on. That's why they tell you need discernment. Bitch, the shit is plain and simple in your fucking face. These motherfucking men sit up on a fucking stage talking shit, being the most disgusting, vile human beings they could be in the dark. If folks want to sit under this ministry after hearing him say some mess like that, which by the way is not biblical, they deserve what they get. Matthew 25:40. Verily I say to you, in as much as we have done it unto one of the least of these my brethren, ye have done it unto me. Videos like this drive people away from the church. I don't believe God gave him this word. I just help whoever I can. I don't worry about receiving anything back. Right. You're not giving, it's not multiplying. Oh, so you saying that I should give in order to see something in return. Really? That's not charity. Whatever you have described as to say don't give to poor people, give it tithe, give it to the church so it can multiply, so you can expect something in return. When you give it to a poor person, you should expect what? That's like completely like two different things happening. That's not charity. Even tithing, even in other religions, there's always a concept of giving to the less fortunate. Even the less fortunate in church. Nah, but y'all, the way y'all run these motherfucking churches like membership clubs, and if a motherfucker ain't up on his membership dudes, tithes, you won't give him a funeral. I've heard so many stories of these musty, raggedy, fucked up churches. I'll say it. These raggedy, funky ass churches who sit up there and say the things that they say about people, gay people. I don't understand how y'all be sitting up in a church. I don't understand how you follow a word that says you going to hell. The mental anguish that must have on so many gay people who follow this shit. They sit up here, and when someone dies, someone who has been going to the church for their whole fucking life, and it's time for a funeral, and y'all go and check the books to see if they have given enough to the church for you to host their homegoing. That's some nasty work. See, me, you wouldn't be able to do that to I'd be arrested for arson. She burned the church down. Why? Because they didn't give her relative a funeral. Why didn't they give her relative a funeral? Because they weren't paid up on their tithes. How long has the person been at the church? 35 years. And they wouldn't give them a funeral because they didn't tithe every month. Where we how much do we got to put in this gas tank? Oh yeah, we gonna give you a building fund, nigga. We gonna start the building fund for you. That kind of stuff to me requires that level of reaction. I'm gonna burn this motherfucker down. Yeah, churches have done that to plenty of people. I'm sure there's one of you that can get down in the comments and say that you or someone you knew wasn't able to have a funeral because they weren't up on their dues. This kind of shit reminds me, especially these mega churches, taking all these people's money, having everybody like this. Yes, the same dopamine, same receptors that go off when somebody sniffs coke is the same shit that go off when you motherfuckers are standing up. It's the same high. It's the same fucking high. It's so addicting that some people do it every single day. They go to church every day so they can get that high. And you got this man up there while you're high telling you that giving to the church, giving to a poor person is not profitable. That's basically what he said. Listen.
The other problem with the church is that anytime a person is in need, y'all go to running and dropping money. But let me tell you something. The poor will be with you always. And there is no blessing connected to blessing the poor other than getting back what you gave to them, but no multiplication.
But you don't get anything back. There's no multiplication when you give to charity. You don't get it back. But you don't pay taxes at all. All the money that comes in there, you don't pay no taxes on it. And you can just buy whatever the fuck you want to buy while your people in the church walking to the bus stop as you drive away in your motherfucking star-studded Rolls Royce. Greedy men abusing women, using religion to abuse women and children, then also to abuse poor people, another vulnerable group of people. God damn it. Every time we talk about these motherfuckers, it seems like they take advantage and abuse vulnerable people.
Multiplication is segregated for tithes and offering. When you give to the poor, the only thing you do is help them, but you don't help yourself.
You don't help yourself when you help the poor. Can you imagine Jesus saying that? Jesus would take his sandal off and throw it and hit you square in your motherfucking face. Keion. Ugh, Shawnee, that's your nigga?
So when you give a
girl, that's your man? All right, curiosity of life. Curiosity is the life force in all of us. This is Pharrell. He's probably at a fashion show. I don't know where he is, but he has on this blush pink sweater, a green hat, some shades. He has on some denim pants, and he's holding a Louis Vuitton purse, and he has on pink sneakers. I'll show y'all the picture. And the comments are so disgusting, and it's so weird. It's baffling to me how a generation who was literally called Gen X, like, you were the ones that were the grunge kids, you bucked the system, you everything about the system, you rejected, you rebelled. That's Gen X. And y'all in the comments sounding like some motherfucking baby boomers. Y'all sounding like some silent generation. Y'all sounding like, I don't know who taught you this shit. I don't know where you learned this shit from. I don't know why y'all act like you have never been off your fucking blocks, but claim you got fucking stamps with this fucking narrow-minded view of a man carrying a handbag and you asking what is happening to our men. First of all, bitch, they're not your men. See, I said to myself I wasn't going to get too angry. I was going to keep it low. I was going to keep my shoulders down today. But when I saw this picture of Pharrell expressing himself through his clothes, and people in the comments, literally Gen X and Millennials in the comments, saying the most narrow-minded, bigoted shit. Like, where did y'all learn this from? Where did y'all adopt this? In the church? Did y'all learn this in the church? Is that where y'all learned this shit? The comments. His wife let him do this, and they have kids. This is Tia Kemp. This is messy. Rodney says Jesus wore a dress draped in fabric with a sash and sandals and had long hair, but Pharrell is doing too much. Okay. What is going on with our men? I said, first of all, they're not our men. Start there. Okay. Masculinity is a dying concept for real. Masculinity has nothing to do with clothes, sir. The fact that a aspect of masculinity is bringing order, and y'all live your half of your lives creating disorder and chaos. Y'all some bitch ass niggas. Y'all ain't masculine at all, because all y'all do is create chaos, confusion, disorder, dis-ease, pain, sorrow to everybody who comes in proximity to you. You're not masculine. Masculinity brings order. Saturn brings order. Order. That's masculinity. A lot of y'all have no clue what masculinity is. Whatever version you're performing is harming everybody around you. You're not masculine at all just because you got a fucking dick and some fucking muscles, and because you wear a blue shirt. That's not masculine. That has nothing to do with masculinity. A lot of the way y'all a testament to your manhood is how well you're unable to treat women kindly, right? Y'all sit around and call motherfuckers who treat women kindly simps and bitches and shit. No, you're the motherfucking bitches. Agents of chaos and disorder. There's no masculinity in y'all at all. And if you think your dick is a measurement of your masculinity, you get everything that it brings to you. Everything that your dick brings into your life, you deserve it. Dogs of disorder, demons of disarray. That's what you motherfuckers are. You don't hold any level of masculinity with the amount of destruction that you have caused people over centuries. And then Gen X, you would think your minds were open. Millennials, you would think your minds were open. You have seen everybody from Prince to rockers, all these things that y'all say about nail polish, long hair, all the shit y'all say, y'all act like you didn't come up in a generation where all of this was visible to you. You literally act like you were raised on a street and you never left the street. Y'all claiming y'all got stamps on your passport and you're threatened by a man carrying a handbag with some pink shoes on? You're a liar. Somebody is lying. There's no way you can travel the world and come back to the United States and have an issue with a man wearing pink sneakers. You're lying. It's giving he was fronting the whole time and he's happy and he is, well, another word for happy. It's giving 80% of males are either gay, bi, or DL or trans attracted. Ever since COVID, the world has flipped and moved into a different dimension. Y'all don't have to believe me, but the real ones know. The world is very strange now. Turning men into girls is their agenda. No, they don't want to turn them into girls. They actually want to rape them before they're a certain age and fuck their brains up and give them so many weird ideas as it relates to intimacy and sex. That's what they really want to do. And then leave it to y'all to come in contact with them and try to partner with these weirdos. They're not trying to make them girls, because girls, I know girls is the worst thing you could be, right? Because a girl, this is coming out of a woman's mouth. A girl is the worst thing you can be, right? It's giving we're letting men take it too far with this whole fashion thing. Man, I thought this was Jada Pinkett. Damn, they got him. I'll be so glad when this purse era is over. It's giving I gotta go tinkle. It's giving freak offs. These are the comments. And these are from women. He's dressed like he just left Gag City. He's telling y'all just don't want to see it. Give him hell, sis. Everyone is so different now. Fashion my ass. Dang, he looks like a woman. It's giving Real Housewives of Atlanta. I just can't anymore. This is getting way too out of hand. I knew something was off with that happy song. He's a little too happy. He looks like a strong black woman that just did the big chop. I thought this was Jada Pinkett Smith. They turning him out. 2024 is wild. These are people that were more than likely born within the last 50 years. Who taught y'all this? Where did y'all learn this from? And then especially if you grew up in a time in my era where we were listening to British pop and listening to George Michael and listening to all the music, and all of the people looked different. All of them had long hair, fingernails. Everybody looked different. For you to act like it's just so weird to me that anyone 50 years or younger having this kind of ideas about fashion, about men carrying purses, about men wearing nail polish, about men having long hair. Like, where the fuck did y'all learn this from? And then if there is an agenda, what agenda are you trying to conserve? That box. That box, that box. That's why when I tell you I have so much respect for gender non-conforming, non-binary people, I have so much respect for anyone who is intentionally living outside of the box and the confinements this repressive ass matrix has for everyone. And y'all running around like Agent Smith enforcing this shit and saying the things of the disgusting things that out of your mouth about somebody expressing themselves in fashion. You want him back in a box, dressed a certain way, in order for him to express some sense of masculinity to you. His testament, his expression of masculinity has to be in the way he dresses. Shout out to all the gender non-conforming, non-binary people who are bucking all of this shit. Shout out to the trans, let me tell you, no, I want to be very specific. Shout out to the Black trans women for just stepping out of everything and busting the box, just busting the box wide open and saying, fuck everything that you had for me. I'm rebelling against all of it. I'm going to live in my truth. I'm going to live in the full spectrum of life. And fuck all you who want to confine people to a box. I rebuke all of you, all of you. Take your narrow-minded, limited brain, also malleable brain, because you're around here enforcing, like you're literally Agent Smith, enforcing the Patriots, enforcing male worship, enforcing heterosexuality, enforcing Christianity, enforcing male identity. Shame on you. And then saying the things that you say in Jesus' name. How dare you? It was just because of my religion. That's not your religion. That's not your religion. That is not your religion, and you know it. Honey, the herd gets slaughtered. I said this. The fact that Gen X, the kids who went against the system, and motherfucking millennials are in these musty ass comments acting as if the expression through clothes never existed ever in the history of the world makes the gods weep. Weep at the pride you all have in your willful ignorance. And the way y'all lean into homophobia so easy on one post, but then ask to support a raging murderous man like Sean Combs just because he's a black man in another post is a level of psychosis that I'm sure delights sociologists and psychologists alike. The mindset to twist your brains to act like you have never seen past your block while claiming to be global citizens makes me think someone is lying. Y'all a bunch of liars, living a lie, living a fucking lie, while you try to box other people into your fucking delusional lie of a life. Yeah, I'ma say it. Fuck your church and churches like Keion, what's his name? Keion Sanders? That's Deion Sanders. Keion Henderson, whatever the fuck his last name is. Keion the crook. Keion the pulpit pimp. Yeah, you motherfucker, you dusty, musty, tired ass bitch. I said I wasn't going to raise my shoulders. I haven't raised them yet. You motherfucker, you don't give to charity. And then y'all on these comments talking shit about a man carrying a purse and having on pink shoes, saying that he looks like a woman, as if that's the worst thing that you could look like. Y'all don't even realize the shit that be coming out of your mouths. I gotta go. So disgusting. We gotta go because we have some Diddy discourse that we need to do on another video. Y'all need to tighten up. If you around here operating like Agent Smith, platforming, misogynistic homophobes, tighten up. People who don't care about other people, people who are literally insensitive to people being harmed. Nasty work. Anyways, take care of each other, protect your energy. Let's get down in the comments. Peace.